Glory to Jesus Christ. Today is Tuesday, March 3rd, the ninth day of the fast, and we continue to read from the diary of a Russian priest. And of course, we're also learning about the life of Father Alexander Elchaninov. If we go back for a moment and think of the pre-Lenten cycle that the Church gives us, the third Sunday is the Sunday of the Last Judgment. When we hear the parable of the sheep and the goats, it's a stark and sobering reminder that the end is approaching. And then at the very first week of Great Lent, that theme again is given to us about the end times, the second coming of Christ, and are we prepared and ready? Then at the very beginning of Holy Week, if we jump a little bit ahead, that theme will also confront us as well. And so the Church is always reminding us that we don't know when the end is coming, and are we prepared? Are we ready? We can think of early in Holy Week, we hear the parable of the 10 virgins, and 5 were prepared and 5 were not. To begin today, we'll read about the falling asleep of Father Alexander that came at a very early age for him, and is again a reminder of we don't know when the end will come and how precious life is. He died comparatively early, at the age of 53, when still seemingly full of vigor and new plans. He had just been transferred from Nice to the Russian cathedral in Paris. In the summer of 1934, he was taken to a hospital with a perforated ulcer of the stomach. A tragic fate, so it seemed, pursued him. Several medical mistakes, carelessness, and inefficiency in hospitals, and fatal misunderstandings during the treatment appeared to be leading him inexorably to his death. Despite all the efforts to save him, he passed away in great suffering during August 1934, leaving behind him a wife with 3 small children, the eldest 14 and the youngest 8. Father Alexander's life work is movingly summed up by none other than Saint Maria of Paris. For those who knew Father Alexander, there could be no doubt about the great destiny which was his. He was a representative of that highly cultured stratum in Russian society which determined the spiritual character and the ideas of the brilliant period marking the beginning of the 20th century. In his early path among us, I would venture to claim Father Alexander displayed the perfect fullness of humble Christian sanctity. After many years of brilliant educational work, after entering into all the refined complexities of Russian religious and philosophical thought, he attained to a wise, mature, humble, and simple priesthood. Such were our thoughts of his great destiny at the time of his death. There in the coffin, clothed in golden vestments, with a large bronze cross clasped in his hands, his calm, meek features sealed by higher wisdom, lay a man who had disclosed and realized himself before God and before his fellow men, a man who had proved that the road from Athens may, even in our own time, lead a soul to the heavenly Jerusalem. And so Father Alexander fell asleep in the Lord at age 53, again, relatively young, but a reminder as to how precious life is. And so the excerpt that we'll read from his diary today says exactly that. Life is a precious and unique gift, and we squander it foolishly and carelessly, forgetful of its brevity. Either we look back with yearning on the past, or else we live in the expectation of a future in which it seems to us life will really begin, whereas the present, that is, our life as it actually is wasted in these fruitless dreams and regrets. A beautiful way of saying that where we need to be living is right now, on March 3rd, and thinking of that, not living in the past. Sometimes we think of the past as being somehow the glory days, but if we think about it, it was never perfect. And then, of course, we're tempted to jump ahead in time as to how we think it will be, but we forget about where we are right now. And so Father Alexander beautifully points that out to us and reminding us how precious life is that could be fleeting at any moment. We can leave today because we read about the death of Father Alexander, one of the hymns from the Orthodox funeral service, which will help to put all this together as well. So we sing at a funeral, "In truth, all things are vanity, and life is but a shadow and a dream. For as the scriptures say, in vain does everyone who is born of earth busy himself. When we have acquired the world, then do we take up our abode in the grave, where kings and beggars lie down together. Therefore, O Christ our God, give rest to the servant who has departed this life, because you love mankind." So on this day again, be reminded of how precious life is, and to take very seriously that idea of living it now in its fullest. Glory to Jesus Christ.